Hi, I'm back. I just wanted to say that people who think that they can keep 3 different Feast of Tabernacles are not doing the right thing. Okay, so you have the Creator's calendar, and that's the one that you should go by. But then there's also this Enoch calendar that's out there. And then of course we have our Gregorian calendar, which has totally messed everything up. But if you go by the Creator's calendar, you will not get messed up. Because it goes off the moon sightings. And sighting the new moon, you don't see a crescent. It has to be at the conjunction point. So you're not going to see that light, okay? It has to be completely black to be a new moon. And that's when you set your Sabbaths by. And that's also how you set the feast days by. So going by 3 different calendars and saying each time, and I'm talking about a specific person. I don't want to say her name, but she keeps on. First it was in September, twice, because there was the Feast of Tabernacles, the real Feast of Tabernacles, which started on the 16th, well, the evening before that. And then there was the one where atonement started on the 23rd of September, and so then you go by that. And then there's this Gregorian calendar, and so you can't go by the Gregorian calendar. It's not going to be correct. You're not going to be there when Yahweh's there, because Yahuwah comes to visit us at his appointed times. So you can show up, but he may not be there. You can show up when you think you're doing the right time, but he may not be there because you may be off. You may be, excuse me, you may be looking at the wrong dates. And we did have the huge harvest moon right at the beginning of the Feast of Tabernacles in the middle of September. And that's when it started. And, the Feast of Trumpets was, I believe it was the 1st or the 2nd. I think it was the 2nd of September. And then Atonement was on the 11th of September. And then the Feast of Tabernacles started on the eve of the 16th. So, going by 3 different calendars just to cover your bases and saying each time that the rapture is going to happen now, it's going to happen tomorrow, that's just not right. You can't keep on, saying it's going to happen here, it's going to happen here, it's going to happen here. Because then you are deceiving people when you do that. You can't know the day or the hour. Yes, things are getting bad. There's this Hurricane Matthew that's terrible that's going on right now. And I have some people I know in that area. And I'm worried about them. I'm worried, I'm concerned about them. I hope that they're going to be okay. And they are very godly people. They're very good people. And I hope that they're going to be okay. And this skull that appeared or, showed in the hurricane, that was pretty freaky. I have to say, it did, the demons are going to start coming out, Well, the demons have been out for a long time, but there's also more that are inside the earth that are going to come out, along with the giants that have been hidden, living underneath our very own feet, in cities underneath the ground. They're going to be coming out pretty soon. And you have to believe that you are going to be protected. And I've had rapture dreams, if you want to call them rapture dreams. I've had dreams of being caught up. I've had so many dreams about meteorites. I've had so many dreams about meteorites, just meteors, little meteors falling like fireballs falling in the sky, from the sky down to the ground. Hold on, in the drawer. Just 1 second. Me. Just put it right here. Sorry about that. So yeah, I've had tons of dreams about, I've had so many dreams about the end times. I've had dreams about being in California, because that's where we used to go for the feast. We used to stay at the beach, and I would have dreams that there would be an earthquake, and then a huge tsunami wave would come in. Well, with the earthquake, first the buildings would, topple over, and I would be inside a room, and it would topple over like that, and then I would, be in another place, and and the water would just wash inland so far, and we'd be trying to get to higher ground, and I can't count how many dreams I've had. There's been so many dreams that I've had about being in California, and I've talked about this since high school. And that was like, I don't know, 18 years ago since I started talking about that. So, I always said that California was going to fall off into the ocean, and then they come out with this 2012 movie years and years later, and what happens? California falls off into the ocean because of the fault lines, and everything just breaks apart and just falls into just kind of goes into the ocean like that. Land pops up, and I gotta tell you, this past week alone, at least a few times a day, I have felt, just sitting in my bed, I felt a boom, and once it even made my computer screen go, because my screen is very wobbly, but my computer's kind of like, it's only 3 years old, but it's like, it's like me, it's like falling apart. But it wobbled like that, and I felt it. It was like really strong. It was like a bump up, and then there's these stories about what's going on underground. Not only the cities where the giants are living, but and there's also the place where the demons are being held, but there's also miles and miles and miles of tunnels linking city to city to city to city all over the United States, and in other countries they're doing this too, and even underwater tunnels that are linking, they have underwater tunnels, and they are bringing so many supplies in there. They have semi-trucks driving through, and a lot of them are connected from underneath Walmarts. The Walmarts that have been shutting down, they're connected from under there. There's also underneath the White House, there's a direct link. If you go underneath the White House, there's a direct link to one of the tunnels. So you can just drive to one of the tunnels. When it's time for, President to go and get to his place of safety, all he has to do is just drive underneath the ground and he can go. So, but I believe that Yahuwah's people will be protected during these times of Jacob's troubles. And, it says Jacob's trouble shall appear. And, but we shall not fear. We will not fear. We can't fear. We have to put our faith and our trust in our Savior, Yahushua HaMashiach, and within our God, Yahuwah, to protect us. And if you ask protection on your home, which I do every day, I ask protection on my home, I ask protection on my family, I ask protection about where, I say protect me wherever I'm going. Because it kind of freaks me out. I've been in so many car accidents, none of them were my fault, but I've been in so many car accidents that you gotta I get freaked out driving because there's, crazy people on the road that drive haphazardly, and they're just switching lanes like crazy, and you have to be watching the other cars to know what their next move is going to be. And I always know what their next move is going to be, unless it comes out of nowhere. I'm sorry, they were chemtrailing really, really heavy today, and we were outside a little bit, and gosh, it really messes up your lungs. I'm sorry. Not to mention it makes your eyes burn, and you get these nanoparticulates in your brain, or nanoparticles or nanoparticulates, I think. If you watch the video that Leah's put out, she talks about this. Does she? I don't know if it was, I think it was her video. No, she was talking about something else. She was talking about, I don't know. Just check my other video, because I mentioned something about her videos, but there's these things that they're fine. Oh, it must have been a video I watched. I'm sorry, I'm rambling right now. It was another video I watched, maybe, that they're already finding these nanoparticulates in the human brain because of the chemtrailing. And I mean, it was so heavy today. There was streaks all across the sky. You can see the nice, normal, fluffy clouds, that are all poofy. And then you see, the streaks that just go across the sky. And then you see the airplane flying, just leaving this huge chemtrail behind it. And it totally messes up your throat. I have rumbling in my throat right now. It's very hard to speak clearly. Well, it feels I don't know, I feel like a 40-year-old smoker or something. So anyways, that was something that I forgot to mention in my previous video, was about the chemtrailing. Because not only did we see those jets or whatever they were that were flying in formation just disappear out of thin air, but they were chemtrailing really heavy, and they say that they're going to do it even more to control the weather. They want to control the weather. And I think they may be controlling this Hurricane Matthew right now with the geoengineering. Because they can pump out clouds wherever they want to, all over the world. Not to mention, oh gosh, if you get headaches a lot, blame it on the chemtrails, because it's probably from that. If you get headaches, if you get sore throats, if you get runny noses or burning nasal passages, it's the chemtrails, okay? Oh man, I get headaches almost every single day. So, I do pray that, we get out of here soon. That Yahuwah will come, that Yeshua will come, and with his mighty army of the holy host of angels, and get us out of here. Because this world is just getting too sick. It's rapidly getting sicker and sicker and sicker. Just this past year, things have gotten grotesquely disgusting. And I'm sure Yahuwah is looking down and just shaking his head. Like, ugh. But he smiles upon those who talk about him. Every time that people talk about him or his son, he's happy. And he's looking down on those people and he's smiling. That makes him happy. And if you have children, teach your children, because that makes him really happy. We are supposed to teach our children, because they are going to be, they're going to be the ones in the kingdom who are going to be producing new families. They're going to have new families. Me, I know I'm not married, so I don't plan on getting married. I feel that I am married to Yahushua, and I am just anxiously waiting for his return. I'm not a date setter. I have full faith that Yahweh has all that under control, and that we'll know when it happens. So, but the important thing is to not be asleep with your head in the sand. You need to be looking up. You need to be awake. You need to be watching the signs, everything that's going on in the world. I don't suggest sitting there and staring at the news all day, especially the mainstream news on TV. I would much rather suggest you watch YouTube news, because it's going to give you actually more truth than what's on the TV. Because the TVs, they all have, or the news media, they all have gag orders on them. They're not allowed to talk about certain things. So, man, I have such a headache right now, so I'm sorry I have to go. But I just wanted to talk about that. Sorry, I have to go. So, may Yahweh bless you and peace. Have a good night.